Today we're going to talk about how to secure funding for your real estate deals. Make sure you've got enough money for all the different pieces in what's called the capital stack. Learn right now because it's coming. Don't wait. The debt markets are very weird right now, so you want a great broker that's helping you with this. This business is not what you know, it's who you know, okay? So network, network, network. Yeah, my name is Rod Khleif, and I'm blessed to host the largest commercial real estate podcast really in the world right now with over 20 million downloads, and I own thousands and thousands of apartment units. I love what I do. Work is play for me. And so let's talk about how to secure funding, okay? It's a very important topic. Okay, so the first thing you got to decide is how much money do you need? And we call it capital in the business. How much capital do you need, right? So you've got to decide, and how do you decide that? You have to look at quite a few different things, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But a lot of people, newbies particularly, underestimate this, and you can't. You've got to make sure you've got enough money for all the different pieces in what's called the capital stack, which is the financing, the equity you put in the deal, and that has to include closing costs and a number of other things we'll talk about here in a second. How do you assess your capital requirements? So you've got to define and identify the needs that you're going to have, and it includes calculating all the necessary funds for a bunch of different things. And those things are what? Closing costs. They're property improvements, which we call CapEx, capital expenditures, and then operating reserves. And I can tell you, again, a lot of people underestimate particularly the CapEx piece. And I'm sorry, down payment. I forgot about down payment. That's usually the biggest piece. Okay, so down payment, then closing costs, then CapEx, and then operating reserves. And so I can tell you for us, we're very conservative, and we always put aside 6 months of expenses for operating reserves, just in case the you-know-what hits the fan. So we've got a cushion. That's how we are able to sleep at night. Now, the down payment is obviously the difference between the purchase price and the debt. Okay, and then closing costs typically around 3 to 5% of the deal. Those closing costs will include your acquisition fee and all sorts of other things as well. And then the CapEx, like I said, people have to carefully estimate what that's going to be. And then, I've got students, I've got my warriors, my coaching students, and this is the one I hammer into them to make sure they've got contractors giving them a really clear idea, multiple bids on what that could be. And then, and a lot of operators are very loosey-goosey with the operating reserves, which is why a lot of them are in trouble right now. There's going to be some incredible opportunity because people don't have the cash. They didn't do what I do, which is have extra money in the bank just in case, right? And by the way, if you're interested in learning this business, get your butt to my boot camp. I've got a virtual boot camp coming up in April. It's 2 days of training. I don't sell anything there, and you come for $97. Now, if the price has gone up, just DM me. I'll get your code to come for that $97. But the point is, learn right now because it's coming. We've got a screaming deal right now. We've already got one in San Antonio that's under contract, and more is coming because of this current economic environment. So don't wait. If you're interested in this business at all, learn it. I don't care if you learn from me, but learn it as fast as you can because it's coming. All right, so anyway, back to capital. By the way, you can click on the link below to get information about my boot camp. So what financing is available? I will tell you the debt markets are very weird right now. So you want a great broker that's helping you with this. And we've got one that helps my warriors, my coaching students. He kicks butt. And that's what you want to use as a broker because they will help you define or decide where the best place is to take your loan needs. Okay, is it going to be a bank, or is it is it going to be private equity? Is it going to be agency financing, conforming loans, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and then of course you're going to syndicate very often, or is it going to be a syndication versus a joint venture? Okay, these are all the kinds of questions you need to answer for yourself. And of course, this is the kind of stuff I teach at my boot camp. Another plug for my boot camp. You should come. But, you got to decide, figure out what's available. And if you go directly to a lender, they're not going to have as many options as if you go to a broker. A broker can help you define between these different sources, maybe even credit unions, banks and credit unions, okay? So that's another option. But you're going to need that kind of help. Nobody knows every aspect of this business, by the way. That's why this is a team sport. So, and part of your team is external. It's loan brokers, it's property management companies, it's regular real estate brokers. The next piece, you got to create a business plan. An apartment community is a business. And just like if you're going to start any business, you create a business plan. You can go online and find business plans, but the apartment business plans are a little unique. Now, if you want to see a great one, go to creecapital.com. We've got a deal right now in San Antonio we're raising money for, and you should watch that webinar on that, because that's what we're basically doing, is presenting a business plan. It's a great learning opportunity for you. So if you want to check that out, again, it's creecapital.com, and you can see how we present a business plan on an asset, what we look for in a market, what we look for in a sub-market, what we look for, as far as job growth, population growth, income growth, all of these things, the disparity between the unit price we're paying for the apartments and what median home price sales are going for. Because if they're close together, people will buy instead of rent. So we look for that. We want to make sure that the median income is 3 times what our rental amount is, because that's what we require to rent, our highest rental amount. So this is all what lays out in a business plan, and what's the value add potential for an asset? Like this particular asset in San Antonio, just as an example, raising almost $4 million to fix the exteriors, to fix the interior, make the interiors look beautiful, and get put new parking lot in and all kinds of other things. And so, these are all the kinds of things you've got to assess when you're creating your business plan. You're going to have rent comps in there, what other properties are renting for, and just on and on. Again, I highly recommend, if you can take the time to watch that webinar on the San Antonio deal we're doing, it's really going to help you as it relates to a business plan. Okay, now you should always be networking. This business is not what you know, it's who you know, okay? So network, network, network. My team right now is at the National Multifamily Housing Conference in San Antonio. There's 5,000 operators there, and brokers and property managers and lenders. I've got FOMO, major FOMO, that I'm not there. I can tell you that right now. But you want to be building connections with potential investors, of course, other syndicators, real estate brokers and other industry professionals like lenders, like property management companies. They're almost all there. I'm going to tell you, I have a mentorship program they call my Warriors. And when I get a new warrior into my program, the one thing I always tell them when I greet them is, hey, it is more important for you to go and meet other warriors and learn and network with other warriors than it is to even learn the business. I know that sounds crazy, but this business is who you know more importantly than what you know. And by the way, my warriors now own upwards of about 190,000 units that we know of, and I've only been teaching for 6 years, something I'm super proud of. And if you want to check it out, to apply, you text the word CRUSH to 72345, or there'll be a link below again as well, but you can text CRUSH to 72345 and get on our calendar, and then you and I will be speaking at some point. But anyway, the bottom line is deals are coming. So get up to speed, please God. If you're interested in this business, get up to speed as soon as you can. You don't want to miss this opportunity. So anyway, network like crazy. You always want to have integrity. That's our number one core value in all of my businesses. We do what's right even if it freaking hurts, okay? Transparency is also super critical. The more transparency you have, people trust you. They see, even if it's bad news, you give it to them immediately. Give it to them as fast as you can. But you're also realistic about property performance. You're realistic about the risks that are going out there. You outline them. And you're honest about your investment experience, okay? That transparency is how you build that trust. You maintain that trust. And this is a small world. The multifamily space is a small world. Find out almost immediately if someone's screwing somebody around. So just do what's right and be transparent. Success is inevitable. I hope that was helpful to you. Again, if you want more information, go to rodslinks.com. There's a bunch of free books there. My bootcamp site is there. Go get them. We'll see you on the inside.